Venerable Sir, how can we as ordinary individuals caught in ignorance begin to train our minds to perceive phenomena without attachment, as described in the Mulapariyaya Sutta, and move closer to the understanding of a trainee or fully liberated being?
My dear brothers and sisters, let us reflect on the profound teachings of the Mulapariyaya Sutta, the root sequence of all phenomena, which guides us to understand perception, conception, and the path to liberation. This discourse illuminates how we as unenlightened beings perceive and conceive the world around us. How trainees on the path to liberation refine their perception, and how fully liberated beings such as Arahants and the Lord Buddha view reality with complete clarity and freedom from ignorance. The Mulapariyaya Sutta categorizes all objects and phenomena that can arise in our mind into 24 distinct groups. These categories range from 4 primary elements, earth, water, fire and air, to beings in different realms of existence, to the formless meditative attainments, and even abstract concepts such as diversity and unity. The final category is Nibbana itself, the ultimate goal of liberation. By understanding how each of these categories is perceived at different stages of spiritual development, we can uncover the very roots of our suffering and the potential for our liberation. Let's begin by considering the ordinary person's perception. Take for instance the elements of earth. Let us imagine a table before us. When an ordinary person sees the table, they immediately perceive it as a solid, independent object existing out there in the world. Thoughts arise about the table, whether it is useful, beautiful, or valuable, and emotions follow, such as attachment, desire, or even frustration. The mind, through ignorance, sees the table as something permanent, self-existing, and separate from the observer. This is the illusion that blinds us all. This misconception is deeply rooted in ignorance, leading to the ordinary person to believe that the table exists independently of their mind. Such a belief leads to mental proliferation, one thought leading to another, forming attachments, desires, aversions. From these attachments comes stress and suffering. As the mind clings to objects and seeks satisfaction in things that are ultimately impermanent and ever-changing. Now let us contrast this with the perception of a trainee. Someone who is progressing on the path to liberation. When a trainee sees the same table, they no longer perceive it as a permanent, independent entity. Instead, they recognize the table as a mere mental construct, a cognitive phenomena that arises and passes away in the mind. The trainee, through wisdom, understands that the table does not exist in the way it seems to. It is not a solid, lasting object, but merely an appearance in the stream of consciousness. Because of this understanding, the trainee refrains from conceiving the table as something to be grasped or clung to. Their perception is accompanied by a sense of detachment, a realization that the table, like all phenomena, is impermanent, unsatisfactory, and without an inherent self. This insight weakens the mind's tendency to generate thoughts and attachments, thereby producing suffering. The trainee's mind begins to align more closely with the true nature of reality. Finally, we turn to the perception of a fully liberated being, an arahant, or the Lord Buddha himself. When such a being perceives the table, there is no conception of it as an independent object. For them, the table is seen exactly as it is, without any delusion, without any attachment, without any proliferation of thoughts. They see the table as an impermanent, non-substantial phenomena that arises in the present moment and passes away. There is no mind in their perception, no clinging, no craving. For the fully liberated, all objects, all phenomena, whether they are the elements being in various realms, or even the concept of Nibbana itself, are seen as empty of self. There is no desire to attach or reject, no craving for pleasure or fear of loss. Their minds rest in pure awareness, free from ignorance, free from delusion, and free from suffering. What the Mulapariyaya Sutta shows us in that liberation is achieved by progressively understanding the true nature of all phenomena. At first, we are trapped in ignorance, perceiving the world through a veil of concepts and mental formations. But as we develop wisdom, we begin to see through these illusions. We learn that all things, whether they are physical objects, sensory experience, or even abstract concepts, are mere fabrications of the mind. They do not exist independently. They arise and pass away like fleeting thoughts in the stream of consciousness. The path to liberation, then, is a path of disentangling the mind from its habitual tendencies to conceive, to grasp, and to cling. By recognizing the emptiness of all phenomena, we prevent the arising of attachments and craving. This is the gradual process of liberation, the stilling of mental formations, the cessation of stress and suffering, and the realization of Nibbana, where all attachments are extinguished. In conclusion, the Mulapariyaya Sutta provides us with a roadmap for understanding the root sequence of all phenomena and the path to liberation. By reflecting on how we perceive and conceive the world, and by cultivating the wisdom that sees through ignorance, we can gradually free ourselves from the bondage of suffering. May each of us strive to cultivate this understanding, to live with awareness, and walk the path of liberation with diligence and compassion. May you all be well and progress towards the ultimate liberation.